Hello, my friends. Welcome to What's Up in Makeup. I just realized I don't have my microphone plugged in. I was rushing so fast. Hold on, just a second. We're gonna plug in the microphone. Ooh, you can't hear me. Ooh, 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 ooh. Hold on. There we go. Hello, my friends. How are you? It's so good to see you or hear you. I can't hear you or see you, but I know you're there. I know you're there. Thank you so much for joining me for this chat. I got ready really fast. Like this was like series 7-minute makeup challenge. Like I don't even know what's happening here. I don't even know. Like I feel like a ballerina today. I'm very ballerinaed out today, but that's okay. I'm dealing with it. I'm going to get used to it and it's going to be okay. So let me go ahead and introduce our topic for today. Today, we're going to be talking about the history of some of our favorite makeup brands. And we're going to be talking, we're going to start off with Urban Decay and then we're going to see where we go from there. I have a couple of locked and loaded that I think I want to talk about, but we'll see. We'll see what the collective brain wants to talk about today. And do I have lipstick on my teeth? I hope not. All right, here we go. So I'm very excited about this topic because I've always been interested in the history of makeup and makeup businesses and how they start off with their ideas. How do they get their ideas for some of these amazing products that we all know and love and have become so famous? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and take a minute to say hello to the collective brain of makeup awesomeness, also known as the live chatters over yonder, right over there. I'm going to go ahead and scroll up to the very tippy top to say hello to the people who were able to join us first. And I just put my contacts in and they haven't adjusted yet. So I have to like go to try to get to be able to see. Oh my goodness, my contacts are so not adjusted. Okay, so Nikki is here and Tabitha is here and Jeanette is here and Emily and Gina and Coral and Gina. Oh, right, yay. And who else is here? Okay, and Cassie and lots of great people here. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, who else is here? And Steph is here. All my wonderful moderators, Karen and Yasmin's here. Hello, and hello to Lizzie and Leanne and Summer. And Summer, yay, Summer's here too. All my mods are here. Ashley's here and Jazzy and Cassie. I already said hi to Cassie. Alexandria and all of my friends. Thank you so much for being here, Jenna and Kaylee and Karen. Thank you all so much for being here. And if I didn't say hello to you, hello to you now. I know that's very romper room of me, the way that I do that, but I love my collective brain. I have no show without the collective brain. They know, everybody in the collective brain together, we know so much about makeup all together. One of us, we know something about makeup, but all together, the collective brain, we know a lot. So if you're watching this on the replay, you are also part of the collective brain, and how you're going to participate in the collective brain is by typing comments down in the comment section below and adding your knowledge there. So you'll be able to go back and read other people's knowledge and experiences about different companies and different products and things like that. I don't know how this is going to work with my eyes not focusing because I can't read the collective brain to save my life. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. So let's go ahead and start off with one that I thought was really interesting. And that's Urban Decay. I was reading up a little bit about the history of Urban Decay and I'm just really interested in it. So it turns out in 1997 was when Urban Decay was founded by Wendy and also by, her name is Sandy, and she was co-founder of Cisco Systems, which I think is so interesting, you know, to go from there into makeup. I just think that's so interesting. So they bonded together to come up with Urban Decay, and they had a love for bright colors. They had a love for things that you just couldn't find anywhere. You know, all of the makeup was all browns and pink, light pinks and, you know, very neutral kinds of shades. There wasn't anything loud and crazy. And they were like, you know what, let's go out of the box and let's get some bright, crazy colors. So I think that's really awesome that they did that. Oh, January of 1996, they started with a line of 10 lipsticks and 12 nail polishes. So, and it says, it was inspired by seedier facets of the urban landscape. They bore groundbreaking names such as Roach, Smog, Rust, Oil Slick, and Acid Rain. The first magazine ad queried, "Does pink make you puke?" Feeling the revolution as cosmetics industry exclusive scrambled to keep up. So that is from the Urban Decay website. I think that that's really interesting that they, you know, they saw what was lacking in the market and they just went for it, and they were like, yes, we're going to do this. You know, I think that's really, really cool. So some other things, another article, this is, you can find this on this article that I'm reading right now on urbandecay.com. I should just have makeup all over my hands. It's just going to have to stay there. Okay. So, because you guys are more important than me being crazy about the fact that I have liquid lipstick on my hands. All right. So anyway, so as we move on from here, we're going to go ahead into the Allure Beauty article about Urban Decay, and then we're going to talk about some of our favorite Urban Decay products. So, oh, face on fleek, thank you so much. And then Kaylee says, Helen, I agree about the names, but their products are really nice. Maybe some of their names might be a little too edgy for some of you. I feel like I need a magnifying glass over here. I just cannot see, so I apologize for sticking my forehead in the camera. Ida says, your eyebrows are on point. Amazing. I bet you can really see them when I do that. We're going to go into Too Faced in a minute. Hello in Michigan. And Terry Lee is here from Terry Lee Nifty and Thrifty. Yay. Okay, so this is an Allure article called 6 Amazing Things You Didn't Know About Urban Decay, and we're going to talk about these in a minute. We're going to talk about it in the collective brain, aka the chat over here, and then you guys can feel free to discuss in the comments below if you're watching this on the replay. And then we'll talk about some of our favorite Urban Decay products. So it says, number 1, Urban Decay was created to rebel against the abundance of pink makeup products on the market. And then we just kind of talked about that. And then number 2, the grassroots effort paid off. Oh, so they're talking about Gwen Stefani. So it says, I would show up at music festivals to track down Shirley Manson and Gwen Stefani and get them to try products, is what Wendy said. So she would track down people that she saw as edgy to try her products. And then it says, number 2, the grassroots efforts paid off. Stefani was one of the earliest fans of the brand, and she also created Urban Decay's first celebrity collection, which of course we all know just recently came out. She spent hours upon hours at her house with Wendy working out the perfect colors. And then I think that's really interesting. You know, celebrities are not new to endorsing makeup products, but I think it's really cool that Urban Decay bonded with Gwen Stefani. But what I think is really interesting is if you look at Gwen Stefani's makeup overall, she's not super edgy. You know, like you think about, you know, the makeup style of many celebrities and how it can really get crazy. Like when I think of crazy, like Urban Decay makeup, I don't think of Gwen Stefani. You know, she's so calm. You know, Urban Decay was started at Coral. Urban Decay, I'm looking in the chat, was started in 1996. Oh, the volume went away for a minute. Uh-oh. Okay, as long as it's good. Okay. So this is very interesting. It says, number 3, for the past 12 months, Urban Decay has sold 1 naked palette every 6 seconds. And this article was written in December 10th of 2015. So this is a very recent article within a month. So I think that's really, really interesting. And it doesn't surprise me at all. Does it surprise you? Because it definitely doesn't surprise me. So, and incidentally, 1996 was the year I graduated high school. I see someone saying that that was the year that they were born. That was the year I graduated from high school. So, you know, we've got something in common, me and Urban Decay. Significant years of 1996. All right, so this is very interesting. It says, the story behind the palette. If you had to take 4 eyeshadow shades to a deserted island, what would those eyeshadow shades be? Wendy told Stylecaster. We threw them on the table and they actually made a beautiful palette. So that's the story behind the original Naked palette, which I think is a really, really cool story, you know, to be like, all right, which eyeshadow shades could I not live without? Let's just put them all in a palette, and that is what the Urban Decay Naked palette is. Let me grab it. Now, this avalanche, whoa! Okay, got stuff falling everywhere. Oh, that was my perfume. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. Okay, I'll fix that later. So this is a relatively new purchase for me, so it doesn't look like I've used it much because I haven't. I got this in the Urban Decay Naked vault at the holiday time, but I mean, if you look at this, you can see that that was the idea behind it. And I feel like something with eyeshadow palettes, especially neutral eyeshadow palettes, you'll find a lot of the shades almost repeating throughout the palette, where you'll have 2 creamy matte shades that are relatively light, or you'll have 2 shimmery deep brown shades. But I feel like with the Urban Decay Naked palette, with the original, every shade is unique in the palette. There's nothing in here that looks similar to another. That makes sense. Like if you think about the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette, shades repeat, but I feel like they really did a nice job designing this. And I think that's super, super cool. You know, I'm very excited about that. Okay, so let's go on to the next one, which is number 4. They support the industry. Makeup artists and anyone studying to become a makeup artist can join the Urban Decay Pro program for free and get 40% off of products, which I had no idea, me being not a pro. I think that is so cool. That is so awesome. Did you guys know that? I did not know that. I think that's so neat. So then number 5 is Urban Decay is the #1 selling eyeshadow brand in the United States. The Urban Decay Alice in Wonderland Book of Shadows sold out before it even arrived in stores. Have you even heard of that? The Urban Decay Alice in Wonderland Book of Shadows? I've got to ask the collective brain about that because I've never heard of that. Did that exist? Was that a thing? Like what? Like I'm looking at the collective brain and it's like, I don't know. I don't know where that came from. I'm gonna have to look this up because this thing I didn't know existed. We have to learn more about this said Alice in Wonderland palette because what? All right, I have all these pages open for future topics for today. Urban, because I gotta see a picture of this. Then Decay Alice in Wonderland. Let's go to images. Let's see if we can find anything. Woo! Look at that. No wonder it's sold out. Holy moly, wait till you see this thing. I have to go over to the camera so you guys can see this. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Look at that. What? What is that? What? What? Are you serious? They didn't make enough of that thing for people to buy? That wasn't very smart. I would have bought that in 2 seconds. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, let me see where in the world. Let me see if I can find the source of this. Let me click over to the collective brain. Have you guys ever seen this thing? Oh my goodness. It is like a big book of shadows. It totally is. Hold on, I'm trying to go to the website where it's the source of it. And this says February 23rd, 2010. That's why I'd never seen it before, because this is old. Okay, it just says, what an eventful few days girls in the UK have had. First, the Urban Decay Alice in Wonderland palette went on sale earlier than expected, February 22nd. Then it sells out in 12 hours. How disappointing. But take heart, ladies. Today, February 24th, you can buy the palette again online at Debenhams. I don't know that. And the palette goes into stores on February 28th. Remember, there are only 2,000 marked for UK release, so be quick and good luck. Wow. Oh my goodness. Wow. All right, so I was just reading the collective brain and I'm laughing. Okay, welcome, Narinder. Narinder, welcome to you. She said it's her first, he or she, I'm not sure, said that it's the first time here. That's very cool. Okay, so that was back in 2010. Now that we've solved that mystery, we can move back to the article. Where did it go? Urban Decay. Okay. And then the last thing that's in this article says Urban Decay has a name library. Yep, real thing, for naming new shades and palettes. We categorize them into like sex names or drugs names. And when you think of a good name, you put it into the name library, Wendy told Stylecaster. And oh, that's how Acid Rain and Smog became color names. So yes, so that's kind of interesting. Very cool. So what I'd like to ask you guys at this point is your holy grail Urban Decay products. If you had to pick your absolute favorite Urban Decay products, what would you pick? For me personally, I would put, I would say that the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette is a must-have for me. Recently, because of Cassie, who I see is here, Cassie from Thrift Thick on YouTube, Cassie made me buy it. The Urban Decay Naked, the concealer. Is it the Naked Skin Concealer? What is it called? Hold on, yeah, the Naked Skin Concealer. I bought this because of Cassie on Thrift Thick. When I had a blemish, which I don't get very often, primer potion from Leanne and Laura, absolutely, absolutely. I had a little guy here before the storm started. We named him Nick Jonas after the storm, you know, Nick and then Storm Jonas. And I covered Nick Jonas with the Naked Skin Urban Decay, and I was like, this stuff is amazing. It was amazing, and it lasted all day long. It's amazing. So this is definitely one that I feel like is like holy grail status, like amazingness, and the Urban Decay Naked 2. So I'm looking here, and then I used Eden on my eyes today. Kaylee, is that Kelly? Kelly says she Urban Decay's Eden, the primer potion. Narrator says the Naked Original and the Naked Basics Original. Nikki says the Sephora concealer is supposed to be a good dupe for the naked skin, which is great to know. It's going very fast, so I'm missing some things. Yeah, that's Gail. I only own 2 Urban Decay products, the original Naked Palette and the Perversion Mascara. Both are great. I agree. The Perversion Mascara is a wonderful, wonderful high-end mascara. So I definitely recommend that one as well if you're looking for a good high-end mascara. I do feel like there are some good drugstore dupes out there that are just as good as the Perversion, but if I had to say a high-end mascara that I would definitely recommend, that would be one of them. Danny says the Naked 3 and the primer potion. Terry Lee says not 2, 4. I'm not sure what the context was. I missed that. Natalie says the setting spray, and then Karen says Zodiacs. Sarah says Urban Decay is her absolute favorite, most purchased brand, and Deanna says she likes the primer and the setting sprays. Krista says I bought the Sephora Gel Serum Concealer and it's really good. So going along with Nikki on the Sephora concealer. Very cool. Great to know. Great to know. Karen says the De-Slick Setting Spray equals I never need powder. And then rather be dividing says the Perversion and the Smoky palette. And Terry Lee says the Vice 4 is all she owns. Terry Lee, we gotta get you some more. We gotta get you some more. Absolutely, Terry Lee. We're getting you some more Urban Decay. It's going to happen. Maybe sooner than you know it. It's going to happen. All right. So let's see. What are we going to do? So we're going to now switch brands because we are 17 minutes in, which means we can switch brands. And I got to figure out what I did with my phone because I'm a space cadet. What did I do with my phone? There it is. It's hiding under my Naked palette. All right. All right, here we go. So let's go ahead and switch brands. We're going to go over to Too Faced now and talk a little bit about Too Faced and the history of Too Faced Cosmetics. Now, Jared Blandino, the face behind Too Faced, the head of creation and advertising for Too Faced, he sorry, I was looking at a picture of a woman. He is very open about the history of Too Faced. He talks about it all the time. He is always around talking about those things. So it's this stuff is definitely not hidden. This is information found on the Too Faced Cosmetics website. It says Too Faced co-founder and creative director Jared Blandino got his start behind the department store makeup counter in the mid-1990s. This is like, one thing I'm noticing is a little bit of a trend here. The mid-1990s seems to have been the time to be someone inventing a makeup brand that will become awesome. It's almost like, you know, the Bill Gates time. You know, they were all about the same age. All of those computer guys were all about the same age. It seems like this was the time to create a new revolution in makeup. It says he quickly realized that just a few minutes in the makeup chair could transform and empower his clients. He recognized that makeup is so much more than a little color on a woman's face. It is an instant mood booster, a best friend, and a power ally. It says Jared would spend nights mixing eyeshadows with lipsticks to make brand new products and days testing his creations on clients. Women loved his approach. The products were fun and feminine and embraced beauty and individuality, not makeup rules. Encouraged by his makeup counter clients, women he lovingly called Two-Faced because they would turn from sweet to sour if he was out of their favorite lipstick. Jared decided to start his own line. So I remember watching an interview with him where he would say he would go behind his makeup counter and he would take some of the samples home and he would mix them up and try different concoctions and then bring them in and try them on people. So the people at the counter didn't particularly like him doing that very much, which I think is very interesting, that he was gutsy enough to do something like that. So it says, Jared decided to start his own line with only a credit card and a vision. Alongside his new partner and future husband, Jeremy Johnson, he began meeting with professional makeup labs to develop his products. He quickly became known as a beauty industry game changer, inventing the world's first glitter eyeshadow, plumping gloss, and 24-hour crease-proof shadow primer, which I think is very interesting because if you look at the ingredients for Too Faced Shadow Insurance and you put them next to Urban Decay's primer potion, the first 4 or 5 ingredients are exactly the same. And I think I calculated, and I could be a little off on this, that somewhere around 80% of the ingredients are the same between the primer potion and the shadow insurance. I'm just saying. Okay. And it says, inspiration came from everywhere. A classic movie, a chocolate facial in a spa in Hawaii, the flush radiance of a woman fresh off the slopes. Though young Hollywood has fallen in love with Too Faced, Jared has stayed committed to the everyday customers who support and help the brand become what it is today. So there you go. Very interesting. Okay. Terry Lee says she has the semi-sweet palette. She got it from QVC and she enjoys it, but she's in the minority from what I understand. I've heard a lot of people do really like the semi-sweet palette. It seems to be that the original is the favorite over the semi-sweet for most people, but I think that a lot of people do prefer the semi-sweet. I think the semi-sweet is a little more interesting in color selection in that it's a little more colorful. There's a lot of different colors in there compared to the original chocolate bar palette, which has a lot more neutrally kinds of shades. So the next one that I wanted to read to you was an article from the Allure magazine again. And then this is the Too Faced Cosmetics history. 5 amazing things you never knew about Too Faced Cosmetics. So let me go get my chocolate bar palette because I just want to smell it. And I also want to get another product that I used today. This I actually used over top of my, I used the Garnier BB cream and I was rushing. You know how, like, when you only got 5 minutes to get ready? That's what happened to me today. My kids were cleaning the house, they needed help and all this stuff. That's a long story. So anyway, I only had like 5-7 minutes to get ready today for filming, for being here with you. And I put on my Garnier BB cream and I was like, oh my goodness, I want more coverage than this. So what I did was I put on my Too Faced Cocoa Powder foundation, and this mattified my skin nicely, gave me just a tad more coverage, and it smells like chocolate. Like, if you're the kind of person who likes starting your day with wonderful calming aromas, this is a really wonderful product. I don't even really hear anybody talking about this. It's fantastic. I don't really use this as a standalone product. I use it to top other cream products as kind of a more full coverage face powder, and it's very, very nice. I love it. I absolutely love it. Somebody's mentioning this, Julie's mentioning the Stardust palette was wonderful. I think that's gone now, isn't it though? Which makes me kind of sad. This is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. This is, I've said it before, this is the me of eyeshadow palettes. If you know how, like in the movie Beauty and the Beast, how they turned all the people who work there all turned into like things from the kitchen. Like, if I had to turn into a makeup product because there was a curse placed on my house, I would turn into the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. That's what I would be. This is what I would be. This is the most me thing that ever existed, I think. Like, I love this thing. I love this thing so much, so much. The smell, the shades, the uniqueness, the versatility, it's just an amazing product. But anyway, we're supposed to be talking about this article here. All right, let's go back on topic, Jen. Okay, so here we go. 5 amazing things you never knew about Too Faced Cosmetics. Okay. Okay, some of the stuff we've already talked about because it's in the other article. It says that they started the company specifically in 1998. And it says Blandino used to work at the Estee Lauder makeup counter in Saks Fifth Avenue in the mid-1990s. So that gives us a little more information about that story. And it talks about Too Faced and the customers and all of that. Okay, Too Faced created the world's first glitter eyeshadow, and this is the story behind that. It says, I was in the lab creating a black matte eyeshadow, and across the room was the lip gloss area, and there were these little jars of glitter along this insane wall. I was like, ooh, I want this. So I ran over and I grabbed a jar of glitter and I brought it over to the lab lady who was pressing the eyeshadow, and I said, put this glitter in the eyeshadow because let's change the world. And she said, it won't work because we need more binder. So we put in more binder and we put the silver glitter in the black eyeshadow, and bam, the first glitter eyeshadow. It was called Ooh and Ah, and it was in our top 5 products for like 10 years. Seriously, Blandino is a character. He even has his own YouTube series called It's Happening, and that's relatively new. If you guys haven't seen Jared Blandino's It's Happening, it's actually a very entertaining show. It does have some curse words in there, though. He throws them in there, so just don't watch it around your kids if that bothers you. But it's a very, very interesting YouTube channel. So definitely check that out if you're interested in it. Let me show you a picture of Jared because he's just so cute. Isn't he adorable? Just a sweetheart. Oh my goodness. Just seems like the nicest, most down-to-earth guy. I hope that he really is like that. I've never met him, so I hope he's really like that. And it says, in fact, Blandino's passion for animals was the inspiration behind the company's teddy bear hair brushes. He says, you don't need to hurt an animal to look beautiful. Okay. We've worked for years to make our teddy bear hair brushes, consulting top wig makers on how to make synthetic fabrics look and feel like natural hair. And then it talks about how Blandino got the inspiration for the best-selling chocolate products from a facial, and they show a picture of the chocolate bonbons palette. There you go. And this is the story behind it. He says, I was in Hawaii getting a chocolate facial and was loving the moisturizing and anti-aging properties of the cocoa. I did a little digging into cocoa, and it's amazing for your skin. So there you go. Okay, so how are you guys doing over here in the collective brain? Sunshine Citizen says, it sounds so weird to learn that glitter eyeshadow was once a revolutionary idea. Now it's so hard to find a decent matte palette. And Rosalind said, how do people find out when you live feed? I always come in on the tail end and miss it all or miss them all together. They're scheduled times. We usually do it at 10 a.m. Eastern time on every Sunday, but the very last Sunday of the month is 5 p.m. Eastern time. So I try to keep it the same every week. Kelly says, no glitter for me. I left that behind in the 80s. And Huda says, hey, Jen, so happy to be here. So happy that you are here. And then Dizzy Izzy, sorry, glasses here. I was interested in Too Faced Born This Way foundation, but I'm starting to see not only positive reviews. When it came out, absolutely every YouTuber was raving about it. It's the Too Faced Born This Way foundation is quite, let me get it. Okay, I actually have it in 2 different shades. I got this off of the Ipsy website. When this first came out, Ipsy gave these for points, for Ipsy points, and thanks to people signing up for my bag, I was able to get these. I have the one in vanilla and the one in light beige. And the thing is it's supposed to make your skin look like you were born that way. It's supposed to be a more full coverage foundation, like medium to full coverage foundation, and make your skin look natural as well. But I honestly feel like there's something about a flawless face that there's nothing you can do to make it look natural, because people's faces are naturally flawed. You know, flawed meaning not looking like one clean sheet of color. Because it seems like the trend is for our faces to look almost like a piece of paper, like one-dimensional. You know, just one piece of paper is too. You guys know what I'm trying to say. So, sometimes I overthink things. You know, just very flat. And I feel like this foundation does do that. It gives you that flat finish. So it's not like you're born this way. It is a very nice, more coverage foundation. I do enjoy it. The wear time is very, very nice on it. It feels very good on the skin. This is my normal skin. But I don't feel like it's natural looking the way that it's marketed. You know what I mean? But it is a nice foundation if you like a more full coverage foundation. So I definitely recommend it for those people. But with my normal skin, I don't really need a more full coverage foundation. So it's not as good of an experience for me as it may be for someone with more typical skin, meaning skin that has more discoloration than mine naturally does. So that's kind of my thoughts on the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Let me see if there's anything here. And then Leanne says, born this way look like a mask on me. Cassie from Thriftic says, to those of you asking, I think it's really meant for dry skin types. Maybe I have combo skin, but if you have oily skin, even the slightest, it's very heavy and gross feeling. Taylor says, yeah, no one's skin is perfect, but it's definitely not natural looking. I agree. Let's see, Felicia says, hi, Jen, loved your videos. Oh, thank you so much. And Alyssa says, naturally, I'm in awe every time I see them. I'm not sure what the reference was. I missed that. The cost of it, honestly, I don't know. It's been a very long time, and I actually didn't personally purchase them. So I honestly don't know, but it's sold at Sephora's website and I believe on Ulta's website. You could probably check it out. Jenna says $39. And then Nikki says, this is YouTube brainwashing people. Real MUA don't like the Instagram look. Real makeup artists don't like the Instagram look. And we've seen that with Wayne Goss and other makeup artists on YouTube saying, you know, that we need to kind of tone down the full coverage look of our looks and not really go for, you know, that full coverage. Kara says, I love you too. And then April says, good to know, it might work for me. Okay, so let's go ahead and go on to the next thing, and it has to do with Too Faced bronzers. It says Too Faced has 8 bronzers for a very important reason. When Blandino's sister was diagnosed with stage 4 melanoma, he set out to create beautiful, high-quality bronzers so that women would always have ways to achieve a sun-kissed glow without sacrificing their health and baking in the sun. Blandino loves bronzers so much that in an interview with Makeup and Beauty blog, Karen, yay! I love Karen. Okay, he spoke about his wardrobe of bronzers. If you're not following Makeup and Beauty blog, there's a blog and there's a YouTube channel. Karen is amazing. She gets everything sent to her before it comes out. So she's got cutting edge information. Amazing, amazing blog, amazing YouTube channel, and such a sweetheart. He spoke about his wardrobe of bronzers. I have a different bronzer for every different outfit, he says. Every different time of year, every moment. It depends on where I'm going, what I'm doing. I've built a bronzer wardrobe that I'm absolutely addicted to and will never give up. And you guys know that he's done the bronzer wardrobes. He's done those. So one day I want to get more than just the bronzers that I have by them. Let me get the bronzer. I should have gotten products out ahead of time. Wasn't planning on pulling products out. So Lisa Eldridge is amazing. Oh my goodness. In preparation for this video, I watched I know this is off topic, the Lisa Eldridge video about the history of makeup. You have to watch that video. It is so interesting. Even if you're not subscribed to Lisa Eldridge, even if you're not interested in Lisa Eldridge, if you are interested in makeup, you have to watch the history of makeup by Lisa Eldridge. It is so good. So good. Okay. So Too Faced. Sorry guys, I won't do this very much more, I promise. I can't even find them. Oh my goodness. Okay, you know what? It's going to take me too long to dig through my drawer to find it, and I don't want to sit here and just dig while you guys wait. That's just not very nice. So Holly says, I have the book of bronzers, but I reach for the Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusions, and she's got kind of a face. Stephanie says, can vouch for the bronzers, love them, gave me color when I was sick. If you're thinking about getting one, get one. Helen says, I love the Lisa Eldridge book, but haven't read it yet. And Tanya says, the book of bronzers is good for paper. Is it good for paper pale skin? I would imagine, because the bronzers overall, like I have the Chocolate Soleil bronzer, and I think I have one other one, the Sun Bunny bronzer. And both of them are very buildable. So they go on quite light, and then you can build them up. It's not like Benefit's Hoola goes on like that. It's like really, really deep, really fast. So it's a little bit harder to work with in that way. But I feel like the Too Faced bronzers really build up slowly and nicely, at least the ones that I have ever tried. Excuse me. Who's that? Chukala says, Lisa Eldridge, Jordan Liberty are so good. Agree, 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 agree. Lauren W says, also paper pale. I use the Chocolate Soleil if I'm very careful, very careful. All right, let's see if there's anything else. That's the end of this article. So let's go ahead and keep talking about some Too Faced products that we know and love, and we'll have time for one more brand after this, I believe. Holly says, my favorite bronzer ever is the Giorgio Armani Liquid. And Stephanie says the Lisa Eldridge thing she was talking about is that book or YouTube video. Well, oh, what I was talking about is the YouTube video. I know there's a book that goes along with it. I think that she did the video to go to promote the book. But it's really, really interesting video. It's only about 3 minutes long, and it's so interesting. So, all right, Better Than Sex Mascara, Summer says. The Better Than Sex Mascara for me was a little bit clumpy, but there's a big but here, okay? The big but here in the Better Than Sex Mascara is that it gives length and volume. You just have to watch the clumpiness of it, I think. I feel like it can definitely get kind of out of control. The brush, the way the brush is built, the wand, the bristles on the wand are very close together. So sometimes they can collect product, I feel, and I feel like that's what kind of makes it clump. is when there's too much product on the brush. So you can always kind of wipe your brush off a little bit on a tissue to kind of get some of that off, but then at the same time, then I feel like I'm wasting my mascara when I do that, but it does help for a better application. So Emily says I didn't care for the Better Than Sex, mainly because it's not waterproof. My lashes fall without the waterproof. Summer says waterproof Better Than Sex will change my life. It is coming. It's in a blue tube, baby blue tube. It's coming. Kelly says, Stephzilla, everyone is different, girl. It's okay. I love how you guys support each other. Coral says, I accidentally swept too much powder in the air and got some in my mouth. I hate it when that happens, except for the Too Faced one. Then it's not so bad. Bambi Fabulous, I own so many Too Faced products. I love them all. The Cocoa Contour is my favorite. I need to get that. I need to get that. And Maggie says, Jen, I know I keep repeating, but Kathy A has a playlist of in-depth history of makeup of many brands. It's amazing. And then she does a whole face of the brand. Maggie, you know what I did, Maggie? Maggie, I thought that was Nikki that told me that. So I asked Nikki this morning, Nikki, send me the link to whatever you were talking about the history of makeup, but it wasn't Nikki, it was you, Maggie. And I apologize, Nikki, that I thought it was you, but it was Maggie. So now I know, I've read the comment out loud, I can go back to this video and I can find that because I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. I couldn't figure out where. Oh my goodness. All right, Bless Your Heart says, I am not a fan of the melted lipsticks. They separate and I keep just getting some greasy stuff out with no color. Side note, they are new, so it's not just because they're old. Oh, okay, gotcha. The melted lipsticks, I do know where those are, so let me grab those. I have a few of them. I can't find the peony right now. I just want to grab these very quickly. These are the new chocolate ones. I really like these. Honestly, I like this formula, except for this is the metallic chocolate diamonds. I didn't like this. I did put a little card here. If you look, there's a little eye in the corner. If you click on that, you can click right click on the video to watch later of my Too Faced review of this stuff and some other, I think it was just lip products, including the unicorn tears and some another one of the La Creme lipsticks. So there's a full review that you can watch if you click that little eye in the corner. But yes, oh, that's over here. It's over there, not over there. It's over there. But anyway, I actually really like these, except for the chocolate diamonds. I don't know what they were thinking on this one because it's like straight up glitter on your lips, but oh, Janet Indy Kitty 1 says, Wayne Goss says, wipe your mascara brush every time. Who knew? I feel like I'm going to waste my product. I don't know. Rebecca says I have a small lips and the melted lipsticks smear too much for me to get them properly defined. So I have Peony, which is from the original launch, and I think I have one more. Oh, I have one of the melted metallics one, the one in Debutante. And I like the Debutante better than the Peony. The Peony, I did not enjoy the formula. I actually really liked the Debutante for a while, and it's funny because I was watching, was it Emily Noel 83? She did like her recent fails of 2015 or whatever, and she had Debutante as one of her big fails because of the frostiness of it, and it made any imperfections shine. But I have really dry lips. I didn't notice imperfections from that product, like over the top imperfections. I don't know. It's been a while since I've used it though, so maybe that's a hint that maybe it wasn't as good as I thought because I haven't used it in a really long time. But I really enjoying Chocolate Milkshake, and then there's the other one that's a little darker. You'll see it on the website. Oh, you'll see it. You can see it in the video. I forget what it's called, but I have it in my purse, I think. The other one that's more of a matte finish. Not totally matte. It does have some shine to it, but a little more matte. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to move on to our final brand, which you guys know in the collective brain more about than me, but I thought we could talk about MAC. I thought that could be our last brand. And I have, of course, another Allure article because Allure is amazing as far as their articles. 7 surprising things you didn't know about MAC. Here we go. All right. You may be the kind of MAC fan who, at any given moment, owns no fewer than 5 Ruby Woo lipsticks just in case it ever goes out of stock. Or you may be the kind of MAC junkie who glues herself to the computer, constantly refreshing the page anytime their newest limited edition collection launches. But even the most diehard fans will be surprised by these 7 facts about Makeup Art Cosmetics. That is the real name of MAC, Makeup Art Cosmetics, which I did not know. That's what it stands for. And then it says, which is what MAC stands for, by the way. But of course, you already knew that. I did not know that. I did not know that. MAC was founded when a makeup artist and a photographer became frustrated by how bad most makeup seemed to read in photos. In 1984, beauty salon owner Frank Angelo and photographer Frank Toscan created MAC Cosmetics in their kitchens to fulfill their professional makeup needs. They decided to package their products in black pots instead of compacts, and that quickly became the company's signature. Interesting. Number 2, one of MAC's first big breaks occurred when Madonna wore its lipsticks. According to MAC's website, Madonna wore an intense matte red lipstick on a photo shoot in the late 1980s. She was later photographed wearing a MAC t-shirt, and people began to take notice of the company. So, and that hasn't changed at all, because they really do rely on celebrities to do a lot of promoting for their brands. They do a lot of things with celebrities. And I feel like that's like their thing, is working with celebrities and coming up with lines with celebrities all over the world. So the next one is number 3. RuPaul was the first Viva Glam spokesperson in 1994. Did you know that? I didn't know that it was RuPaul. And then they got a cool picture of RuPaul. Oh, I probably shouldn't show that because she's in some crazy positions. Go to the Allure magazine website if you want to see this one, because she's got some weird things going on. I can't show this on this channel. This is a G-rated channel, maybe PG. All right, next one says, since its inception in 1994, MAC's Viva Glam campaign has raised over $380 million. The program began as a way to raise awareness about HIV and AIDS at a time when it was largely misunderstood and underrepresented. Now the company is a pioneer in HIV/AIDS funding at the largest corporate non-pharmaceutical giver, providing support for the cure. Multiple celebrities have been involved in Viva Glam campaigns, including Lady Gaga, Nicki Minaj, Miley Cyrus, and most recently Ariana Grande. You guys know this stuff. MAC sells more lipstick than any other non-drugstore brand. That's according to research conducted by the NPD Group in 2012. Beat out both Lancome's Absolute Rouge and Estee Lauder's Pure Color lipstick. So MAC is sold in 106 countries and territories. Very interesting. Very interesting. Fix Plus is your holy grail, Jenna says. Steph says, the only thing I like are the Pro Longwear Concealer and the Fix Plus and the lipsticks. Sarah says, no MAC for me, not cruelty-free. Okay. Number 6. Makeup artists can sign for a special program with the company and get 40% off MAC products with the MAC Pro membership program. So today, makeup artists who show proper certification can pay $35 a year to become a member of the program. Pretty cool. You know, maybe I need to enroll in some kind of makeup school and actually teach myself something. Not to actually be a makeup artist than anybody else, but just to learn, you know, just to sit back and learn things. That'd be a good idea. And get 40% off at Urban Decay and MAC. Okay, all right, moving on. Number 7, one man is largely responsible for creating all of the color concepts for the brand. In 1998, Estee Lauder bought MAC. Interesting. And then in 1999, a man named James Gager became the company's creative director. I'm assuming I'm saying that correctly. I don't know, though. I'm just can't look it up right now. He's responsible for thinking up all the colors and promotional materials surrounding the brand. His philosophy behind creating MAC products: I don't do pretty. I don't like pretty. And frankly, I find things that are pretty to be very boring. Seems to be working out so far, which is interesting because MAC has a lot of pretty stuff. You know, like you think about some of the MAC collections, they are very pretty. Like I guess maybe they're talking about like the black packaging and stuff isn't very pretty, but I don't even know. I don't even know. Oh, Holly says it doesn't work like that anymore, Jen. They took my pro discount away. What? No way. And Summer says you get a discount at MAC counters inside Macy's if you use the Plenty Points reward program. Oh, man. Okay, and then Bam says, Jen, I believe if your channel is big enough, you could get a pro card. I don't know about that. I don't know. I was talking on Periscope to the guy from IMATS, and he said no. He said you can't. Because I was like, because he was saying for pro card holders at IMATS, you could do this, this, and that. And then somebody had asked him, I didn't say, actually, I don't think it was me. I think it was somebody else. Maybe it was me. I can't remember, like jokingly said, you know, what if I have a successful YouTube channel? And he was like, no. Even though my channel is not in the way successful like most channels that are considered successful are, but I was just curious, you know, I was just curious. Not that I would qualify, but I was just curious. Sasha says, Jen, that would be cool thinking about it. Yeah. Let's see. Caitlin says, random question. Has anyone ever tried the Bare Mineral Skin Longevity Vital Powder Infusion? I haven't. And then let's see. Okay, so I'm trying to look. Oh, Kelly says my channel is great. Thank you. And then Brianna says my favorite product of theirs is the Dazzle Glasses and the Face and Body Foundation. I also like the Strobe Cream and the Fix Plus. Need to get more into the shadows and face powders. Okay, so let me go ahead and see if there's anything else. So that's the end of the article there. So we can spend a little bit of time talking about MAC products and your favorites. And I know they're not cruelty free, but some people. I feel like we're coming back. Okay. All right. Are we back? I think we might be back. Okay. Let me ask Beth. Hey, Beth, are we back? Okay, let me say. Okay. All right. Okay. Yay. Okay. I think we're back. All right. Sorry about that, my friends. Okay. You know what happened as my computer started to go to sleep? Because I've been idle for so long, my computer like started falling asleep. That was totally on my end. So I apologize for that. I don't know what happened. I don't know how much you guys heard, but I realized that the chat was frozen and I was like, I'm frozen, aren't I? And then I saw the Norton 360 thing pop up. We ran a background thing while your computer was idle and I was like, oh, we might all be frozen here. Okay, so anyway, nope, nobody's using the microwave, Lorraine. That's so funny. Nobody's using the microwave right now. Okay, thank you, Beth, for texting me. I appreciate you so much. Beth at Beauty Hall 411 on Instagram. Great Instagram channel. Just hooked me up. Thank you, Beth. Okay, so anyway, we're talking about MAC, and I don't know if I ended up being able to tell you what MAC products I had. I was about to tell you I have like 5 MAC lipsticks. I have an eyeshadow palette, the Cinderella eyeshadow palette, and that's it. Because every time I go shopping on the MAC website, I see everything going into my cart going ching, 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 and the next thing I know, I've got like $150 worth of stuff in my cart, and it's like, no. And then I X out of it and I don't buy anything. Same thing that happens when I go into the store. I'll look at things, I'll go, oh, that's pretty, that's nice, but it's like nothing seems to make me justify the purchase. No sound, are you kidding me? How's that? I just plugged and unplugged. All right, Lauren's got it. Still no sound? Oh my goodness. Jeez Louise. Okay. I can't refresh. If I refresh, okay. So it looks like Karen has sound. Okay. All right. Refresh if you don't have sound. Okay. All right, cool. All right. Sorry about that, my friends. So anyway, I have a very limited Mac collection, but I would love to hear in the collective brain what your favorite Mac products are. I know the Fix Plus is huge. I've gotten the Makeup Forever setting spray instead. I got a small one of that. If I ever see the MAC setting spray, the ones that were scented again, I'm jumping on it because those seemed really cool and I almost bought one and then I didn't, and I've been kicking myself ever since for not getting one. So I'd love to know some of your favorite MAC products. Cream Sheens, Karen says. Shannon says, excuse me, Posh Life Diaries, a great YouTube channel, says Fix Plus. Diana also says Fix Plus. Kelly says eyeshadows. Lauren says, laughed at, if you can't hear me, refresh. I know, like they can hear me saying that. You know what I mean? Like, duh. Kathy says the mineralized blush in petal powder, and Helen says I've hit pan on MAC shadows. Always wondered if they short UV product, like maybe they don't fill it up enough. I don't know. Jeanette says Painterly Paint Pot, and you know what? I forgot about that. I do own the Painterly Paint Pot, and it is very, very nice. Cheryl says no MAC at all, and Rather Be Diving says DIY Fix Plus. Oh, I lost it. Let me see if I can scroll up and read that because it's going kind of fast. Let me DIY Fix Plus with rose water and glycerin works really well. Super cool. Thank you for that so much. Let's see. Heather says Velvet Teddy Bear and Soar Liner. Let's see. Patty says I also love their gold eyeshadow. I love MAC. Beauty Hall 411. I love MAC Fix Plus. And then Cassie from Thrift Fix says I'm a fiend for their lipsticks. I just can't help it. And Helen says Wedge is a nice eyeshadow. Lex says the MAC pigments irritated both mine and my mom's eyes. Oh my goodness. And you know what? The new pigments look so gorgeous. The last collection that came out, the what you call it, the not penguins, the flamingos, pink flamingo collection came out, and I was looking at those loose pigments. I know they're going to be permanent, but man, they look beautiful. And then I saw they were $22 a piece, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. No, that just seems dumb. You know, like, I don't know. So yeah, Stephanie says Pantina is so beautiful. OMG. The Too Faced setting spray is good. Natalie says, and then Ashley says, I love soft and gentle MAC's mineralized skin finish and natural and painterly. I forgot about that too. The MAC mineralized skin finish in medium that I have, I absolutely love. That is a really finely milled powder. It's really, really nice. I really like that one a lot. All right, we've got 7 minutes left. Let me see if I still have that article up that I thought was really interesting. Let me see. Hold on a minute. If I can find it real quick. Let's see. Let's see. Worst moments in makeup history. I thought this would be interesting. This one was how I found the Lisa Eldridge. Actually, you know what? You guys can just watch that. But one thing I thought was interesting in this article, it says, did you know that in ancient Greece, wearing any kind of makeup was frowned upon because according to Eldridge, the male elite believed a woman's main role in life was to be virtuous and to stay in the house. And in the 16th century Venice, aristocratic women coveted expensive and highly toxic products. As Eldridge puts it, the more you use, the more you had to use. So they were talking, she was talking about in the video how, you know, this foundation was so perfect, it made your skin look perfect, but then like it ruined your skin because it was toxic. And the same thing about, I think she was saying some blushes and stuff that they used back then were actually toxic for the skin, which I thought was kind of crazy. Yeah, this turned out to not be that great of an article. Except for that it led me to that Lisa Eldridge history of makeup video, which is awesome. So, and Summer says, stay in the house, hear me roar, boys. And then Holly's laughing, and Emily says, I think I've seen that video. It is really, really good. Okay, so we've got about 5 minutes left. We don't have time to go into another brand, but we can talk about whatever else you guys want to talk about in the collective brain. Any other things that you're interested in, anything else you want to talk about. Erica says, maybe that's where beauty is pain came from. That may be. And Gwendolyn says, worst times in makeup history was me, the age of 13, using electric blue eyeshadow. And you know what's funny is I miss the 80s and makeup. I got into makeup when I was in the 7th grade. It was 1991. And my thing was heavy metal hairbands and black eyeliner. That's all I wore, was black eyeliner right here. Somewhere I'm gonna have to find, I have this picture of me with my big poof and my black eyeliner that I took in a photo booth at the mall with my friend. And it's like still to this day, one of my favorite pictures of me of all time, with my black eyeliner and my big poofy hair. But that's all I wore for the longest time. I don't even know when I started wearing other makeup. I want to say in high school, I must have started putting on a little bit of blush and a little bit of mascara, a little bit of eyeshadow, but it was never a lot. I never really got into makeup, especially lipstick. I never got into that until I started YouTube. And you can go back to my very, very first video, is the what's in my makeup bag. And that was my entire collection. My entire makeup collection was contained in one bag that was this size. And you can see every single product that I owned at the time. Very soon after that, you see that I got my Urban Decay Naked 2 palette, and it changed my life, basically. Changed my makeup life. Changed my makeup life. So Faith says, Jen, recreate your 80s look. I didn't have an 80s look because I didn't wear makeup in the 80s. I was too young. I was in elementary school in the 80s, so I didn't have one of those. Lauren wants to know, Jen, are you going to IMATS New York City? Can I hug you? Yes, and absolutely, please do. That would be wonderful. I would love that. We could take pictures together and put them on Instagram, and we'll have fun. Absolutely. Kathy says, Jen, got the What's Up in Makeup mug. Love it. Yay. I love my What's Up in Makeup mug too. Yay. That's awesome. Tina says, honestly, I'm still not into lipstick. Not like other things anyway. It seems so high maintenance. I know, right? I know, right? And Jeanette said 6th grade was purple eyeshadow with red lips. And then Kaylee says, Jen, thanks for sharing your makeup story. Absolutely, absolutely. It's going really, really fast. And then Holly says, that's funny. I started collecting after I bought the Naked 2. Me too. Me too. That was my big thing. But I had already actually started my makeup channel before I got the Naked 2. I don't know what I was thinking, what I thought I was going to talk about. I guess maybe I figured I would just purchase makeup and review it, even though I didn't know what I was talking about. I kind of figured it out as I went. You know, I've always been kind of a science kind of person, like really liked experimenting in the whole scientific method of things. Like I've always been interested in that and enjoyed the process of scientific discovery of things, you know, of trying something out in like a scientific way where, you know, you make sure that everything else on your face, like this is why I don't review a lot of skincare, because everything on your face, like when I try a new skincare product, I only change one skincare product, one, because I want that to be the independent variable, you know, I want that to be the thing that doesn't change, you know, the one thing that changes, excuse me, the one thing that changes. So it takes me forever to review skincare because of that. Same thing with makeup. Like when I do, like when I try a lipstick, like right now I'm wearing the Stila Stay All Day liquid lipstick. I forget what shade it is, but I have a lip balm over it. So I can't review this wearing of my liquid lipstick except for as a liquid lipstick with lip balm over it. And that's really, really important to me. Erica, we'll do a series collective brain hug. But yeah, I mean, that's really important to me to have validity in my reviews and not mess with things. And if I do something different, like wear a balm over my lip product, you know, I make sure I include that with my review because I think that's super important. And I don't think that everybody that reviews makeup does that. I think a lot of people do, but I don't think everybody does, you know? Kate says, Jen, I was just wondering if there are any ingredients you avoid. No. There aren't. And I know that's probably bad. Poison ivy. I don't like poison ivy in my makeup. You know, like I know that's probably bad, but it's not like, I don't know, like, you know, the only thing that freaked me out was when I found out that there are some skincare products that have snail slime in them. That freaked me out a little bit. But other than that, Summer says, I've never been to IMATS. I feel like it would be so overwhelming for me. I like to be introverted. With IMATS, though, I mean, if you've ever been to any kind of convention, IMATS is like any other convention where, you know, you've got booths and you walk around and you shop and, you know, it's not, at least for me, it's not super overwhelming in that, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's just a place to shop, almost like going to the mall or going to like a yard sale or something where there's like a community yard sale where there's lots of tables. But things are a lot more expensive, you know? But yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. Deanna says, apparently snail slime is supposed to be very good for you. That's true, but it still freaks me out. Can't do it. I can't do it. Shannon says any mascara that's not cruelty free bothers my eyes. Not sure why. I'm not sure why either. Rather be diving. Alcohol can be damaging to the skin. I have heard that. Alyssa says snail is bomb. Don't knock it. Silk coupons are bomb. Oh, silk coupons. Silk cocoons are bomb too. Oh, very cool. Patty says I need to drink more water. You and me both, girlfriend. You and me both. Helen says the yard sale of makeup. Great advertising. I know, right, Helen? I just have a way of wording things that make things sound so appealing. And Jill says you don't even want to know where the vanilla flavoring comes from. Oh, don't even tell me. Don't even tell me. I know there's like beetles and like the shininess on M&Ms and stuff like that. Bat poop mascara. What are we talking about? Oh my gosh. On that note, on bat poop mascara, we're going to go for today because I told my family we're actually going to go out to dinner as a family, have a nice family dinner. So I'm going to go ahead and get going here. But I want to thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much. The collective brain of makeup awesomeness. You guys are amazing. And thank you to everybody who's commenting down below. I know the chat went really fast today. So if you didn't get to say something that you want to say, if I didn't see it, definitely feel free to come back in a few minutes after this video concludes, because it has to kind of conclude before you can comment underneath it. It has to kind of process, but definitely leave your gems down below. Favorite products, thoughts about different brands, feelings about anything that we talked about today. Feel free to leave them down below and definitely go down there and read because there's a lot of good information, man. I have the smartest subscribers on the entire internet. I am telling you, the most intelligent people that know the most about makeup. I swear, I am so fortunate to learn from you all every single week. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with me and with everybody else. I appreciate you so much. Mad love, my friends. And we will see you this week on the channel sometime. This week, my main goal is to get out my January favorites video. That is definitely coming out. Also, I have my Ipsy bag but review of the December bag and my showing you what I got in my January bag. That's also coming out this week. So thank you so much for watching and thanks for being here on the channel. I appreciate you so much. Mad love, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Wait, where's my clicker? Clicker. See ya.